Welcome to Gary's Graveyard Ramblings. Now, here we are at the entrance on a beautiful morning. And the question is, do we go south or do we go north? Where do you think? I know, let's go north. And we're going to go round past the oldest bit of the church, what's covered in lichen, I think is what you say. And I think this bit here, which is very beautiful, is the oldest section of the church, and it goes way, way back to Norman times. And of course, Norman, that's where the name comes from, probably. This is a rambling, so as you know, you can't guarantee the authenticity and the correctness of any information. We make no claims in this video. And over there is the posh bit, which you've heard me talk about before, which is there. And then Count Dracula's grave, which is there. And here we are in my usual spot, by John Gilbert's gravestone. Hello. Now, what am I going to ramble about today? Well, it's coming up to September. Well, it's not coming up to September, really. It's still August. But I thought I'd ramble on a little bit about the Rye Arts Festival, the world-famous Rye Arts Festival. Actually, I think my glasses are steaming up. What's that all about? I think it's because although it's a summer morning, we haven't had very much warm weather here in Blighty, in East Sussex. And so when the sun came out this morning, it clashed meteorologically and has caused my glasses to steam up. Not very interesting, but it's a rambling. What do you expect? It's free. So the Rye Arts Festival. Now, the Rye Arts Festival. This all came about, I think, because I was chatting to a comment which was passed to me by wifey of my favourite artist, Andrew Viner, in the world, of whose paintings I've got more of than he's actually painted. Don't ask. And she said to me, why don't you do something on the arts, on art? Well, I'm a little bit common, as you know, from Highbrooms, the working part of Tunbridge Wells, of Royal Tunbridge Wells, it should be said. And therefore, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like, as the expression goes. So I thought, art. Well, and then I open the local paper and see the Rye Arts Festival in all its glory will soon be starting up in early September for a couple of weeks or a month or something or other. Now, what is the Rye Arts Festival? The Rye Arts Festival is something where you can pay a huge amount of money and go and see a woman with a limp playing a Chinese violin in a church hall with no air conditioning and a glass of warm Prosecco for 30 quid. You can go and see how hot chocolate is made. Or you can go and see fabulous theatre pieces and my good friend, actor, and jolly decent chap, Martin Wimbush, hi Martin, is doing a show, the name of which I've completely forgotten, at the Rye Arts Festival. Now, Martin is a Rye resident. He lives in Rye, my darling. You should go to his house. If you're ever in Rye, just pop round and say, Gary sent you, and he'll go, oh, and probably open a bottle of something. So, anyway, Martin's doing this show with, I think, 3 other thespionic people, and I think it's about love or failure of love or something or other. I'll put an advert up over what I'm droning on about now so that you can see, buy tickets, go and see him, because he's a fabulous person and someone we all love. Now, it does help, of course, if you're attending an event at the Rye Arts Festival, to be a tall man in a sort of a long coat wearing brogue shoes, and you should have a wife called Felicity. And both of you should be wearing glasses, and you should be, what can I say? Well, you should be artistic. Now, this got me to thinking, why have I never done anything in the Rye Arts Festival? Well, I very nearly did, and funny enough, it did involve Martin. Martin phoned me up one day and he said, "Gary, darling, would you fancy being a bit of rough in something by Harold Pinter?" Now, I wasn't sure whether that was an invitation or a proposition, but it sounded good to me. So I agreed vigorously and started learning the lines, and then somebody fell ill and we never did it. And all that line learning for nothing. And so, Martin, I can't remember why we didn't do it, but it was an opportunity missed. And therefore, I think I was having a think. I do, occasionally, you know. And I was having a think, and I thought, well, I could do something very artistic. And what? So I thought, well, they say, don't they, you should always do things on the subject of which you know something and you love best. I really mangled that, didn't I? But I can't be bothered to edit it. And as you know, my favourite gags are as told to me by my school friend Jackie, who was and still is the funniest person who ever walked the earth since dinosaurs. And she told me my two favourite gags. The first I've already told on here, and that was the builder's gag, which I had to edit very carefully. And the other is my favourite gag of all time, which she told, which is a joke about a faith healer. Now, the faith healer gag, I really can't tell. But what I was thinking was, being artistic and everything, you know, what I could do in the Rye Arts Festival next year is put on a show, but make it honest. So make it the shortest possible performance at the highest possible price, and be brutally honest about it. So what is, you pay me 30 quid, I give you a ticket, you turn up to the church hall, get your glass of warm Prosecco, sit down on a folding chair that's desperately uncomfortable in an unair-conditioned room, and the curtains open. I tell two filthy gags, the curtains close quickly and I bugger off. End of story. Now, if I bill it as the world's shortest performance, 1, it's truthful. 2, it's honest. 3, I earn a shitload of money. And I think it's artistic. A 4. What's not to love? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Art is it. Art is it. Art. You see? Leone? There you got a mention. So I did talk about art. Talking of art, actually, now when I was in here the other day, I saw a molehill. Oh, look, there's one over there. That's a molehill. It's a fresh molehill. And I was thinking, that's another thing I could do. If you dug up that molehill, stuck it on a piece of driftwood, and sprinkled a bit of glitter around the bottom of it, you could enter that into the Rye Arts Festival, and it will probably win a prize. Well, I think I've rambled on enough for this morning. So on that cheery note, as my upper lip glistens with dew in the summer morning, I shall say, salute.